Alright, haven't made a highlight video in a couple days. My apologies. Frankly, there haven't been many. The market's been so low volume and boring. But today, certainly some highlights worth showing. BP, one of our members posted this was gapping down, which put it on my radar, and called it this morning at 36.06. Stop about 16 cents below. Have to go to 2-minute candles to show you. Wasn't too long after the open. Called it right about here. 36.06, put a low of day stop. And it took a long time, but it did grind higher throughout the day. Ended up moving to 36.71. Let's go to fives here. 36.71 at its high. So, I mean, not too bad. A 65-cent move on 16 cents risk. And then the star of the day, CEDC, called this one at 637. Get my drawing tool going. The beauty of this one, and I'll show you the reason for the call here in just a second. 637, the stop was 8 cents below. Alright, so the entry was right here before it broke the high of the day, 637, somewhere around there. And the stop, 8 cents below, so it was 629, I think, right about there. And from 637, this thing ran all the way up to 722, so an 85-cent per share move on 8 cents risk. 13% move today after our call, and you can see how tight the stop was. Very proud of that one. And I did have some other calls that I didn't throw on the highlight page. They really weren't worth it, but I'll share them. Well, hold on. I just said I would show you the reason for the CEDC call. CEDC, if you go to the daily and take today's candle out of it, huge volume pop there. About, what, 4 days ago, and just selling off ever since, but on lower volume. This is a perfect picture of something I might have on Bounce Watch, and looking for that second wave, okay? So then you add today and you see the bounce. And what we want to see after we have something down a few days, what we're hoping transpires is for the stock to stay, let me get that off there, for the stock to stay in a narrow range. Try that again. I'll get it right. For the stock to stay in a narrow range, which this one did. Look at the range for the morning, for at least 15 or 30 minutes, and this did that. So the high of day break, you get people piling back in. You know, people that have the memory of this big pop here, and hey, it's time for that second wave. So if you keep these on watch, oftentimes you can get a nice setup. Now, I want to say, I had this on the watch list as a bounce play, but this is the beauty of our chat room. I might not have seen that, but one of our members typed in CEDC, typed in the symbol in the main chat room like, hey, as if to alert everybody, hey, this is getting ready to trigger. When I saw the symbol, it reminded me to look at it. I was looking at something else at the time, and so then I brought it up and was able to quickly type it in the announcements feature and pop it out to everybody with a little chime, and got on the microphone and projected the chart and showed it to everybody too. So that's a great example of the teamwork in there. As a matter of fact, BP is another example because one of our members pointed out that gap down today. Keep thinking I had a couple other trades today that were posted by members that I wouldn't have seen otherwise also. One of our members in the pre-market said silver was interesting, so I brought up SLW, and I said over this gap up does look interesting, and so I gave a verbal when it looked like, well, it hadn't broken the high yet, but I gave a verbal, hey, 40.68. Now, I don't like early trade, so I didn't take this, and I said I wasn't taking it. I said 40.68 could go with a stop below this candle here, 40.54. So it's only 14 cents risk, and several of our members took it. And from 40.68, 41.36 within, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. But again, I probably wouldn't have even been looking at silvers if it wasn't for other members in the room. And then same thing as CEDC. I got a couple others to show you real quick. This looks a lot like that CEDC. This is MWW. Also had a big pop. I didn't have this one on watch, but I saw that big pop the other day. And so when I saw MWW, just to give you a little insight into how stuff makes our watch list or makes a call, makes our announcements list, MWW I saw hitting the new highs for the day. I didn't even have it on watch, but I saw it on my new high and low ticker, which made me bring it up on a chart, and then I wanted to see how strong it was after the pullback from the high of day break, and it gave a nice narrow little 5-minute candle here. So I called this one in the chat room at 877 with an 874 stop. See that narrow candle right there? Basically said over this little narrow green candle, 877, 873 stop. That's 4 cents risk. And there you go. It takes it hits 877, gets through the high of the day, and goes to 897. Doesn't sound like a lot, but a 20-cent move on 4 cents risk, certainly nice. And then one other trade we had today was PBR. We're kind of sitting there thinking there's going to be nothing exciting the rest of the day, and then PBR does this. I still don't know why it did it. I don't ever waste time looking up the news, but then I watched it start to base, and I said, hey, this might have a second wave to it, and called it basically over this base. 2765, so right about here, with a stop below that base. I think I said 14 cents below, 2750, 2751, something like that was the stop. And from 2765, didn't exactly tear it up, but it did grind higher the rest of the afternoon. Almost made it to 28 on a trade that really never looked back once it triggered. So that's the highlights from today. Everybody have a fantastic Labor Day weekend, and we'll be back and ready to go on Tuesday morning, hopefully to find some more good stuff like today. So have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you then.